Good morning, fish tank folks. How's everybody doing? Happy Tuesday. I was on vacation over the weekend. I took my RV camping for the first time, and it was an experience, let me tell you. If you know anything about cars, imagine driving a 16,000-pound vehicle with a caliper locking up every now and again when it wants to. That being said, we had a great time, but I was away from my fish from Friday about lunchtime till about Monday around 6 o'clock. And I didn't have anyone feed them, not even the fry, the angel fry. I just let them be. And lo and behold, no deaths. That's right. They weren't fed for pretty much 3 days, and nobody died. That being said, there were no deaths from whatever parasite I've been dealing with either. Before I left, I just did a huge water change, probably about 70%. And I didn't even dose any more meds. I was all set to do levamisole, and I just didn't have the time to do the water changes required to do it correctly. And I want to do it correctly. I don't want to waste the medication, and I don't want to do anything to harm the fish, obviously, or waste anyone's time, including my own. So, that being said, today is Tuesday, so it's nothing special really, other than it's Tuesday. Sorry. But we can take a tour if you like. We're going to feed soon. I have brine shrimp. Frozen brine shrimp is the meal for today. And of course, cyclops for the little guys. And this stuff. Ocean Nutrition Instant Baby Brine Shrimp, which I love. It's my new favorite thing. Unfortunately, it's expensive and not hard to get. You can get it on Amazon, but my local fish store actually gets it for me and for him. He uses it too because he doesn't have time to hatch brine shrimp either. Actually, my brine shrimp hatchery that I had picked up in a deal months ago, it was the base to the San Francisco kit, you know, the black base with the bottle that sits on top. The nipple on the end broke. So I don't even have that anymore. I could make my own brine shrimp hatchery. There's 1,000 videos out there. Joey's done one. I don't know if Cory's done one, but everyone's done one. They're all out there. I'm just don't have time. Lazy. All right, shall we take a tour of the fish room? Because I'm sure you don't want to see my ugly mug. I'll be right back. All right, fishy folks. Angel fish fry. Maybe not seeing them for 3 days makes me think that they've grown a lot or they've changed a lot, but you know, they're kind of looking more like angel fish other than little nothings you can see. So they look good. Doing a water change, you can see I'm going to do about 50% water change. We've got this guy. There are 3 top vote getters, or 3 top names that I'm gonna do a contest on. So the 3 top picks for names are Lamont, Cory, and Solo. And the reason why I like Solo is because I am a huge Star Wars fan. There he is. So that would be really cool. My youngest son is named Luke. If you ask my wife, he's named Luke because for a different reason. But if you ask me and my other boys, he's named Luke because it's Luke. As I'm doing this, I'm also filling this tank, which is almost full. So I'm gonna go shut the water off. Bear with me. You can come with me. Ta-da! Very easy. That will drain the water from the line, but that will also drain the tank. So, air brake. So we're good. All right. So, Solo, Lamont, or Cory. Let's see what the public wants. It's a good-looking fish, if I don't say so myself. All right, let's look at the big tanks. Keep an eye on the fry tank to make sure I don't over-drain it. So we have the Sunset Platies, nothing new. the juveniles. There's also 2 adult females in here, and yesterday I did see one fry. One. One. I thought, if you remember last week, I thought she dropped some fry, and maybe I disturbed her, but I don't actually see any of the fishies right now. Huh. Anyway, I'll look later. But one fry. I thought I'd come home and there'd be a bunch more, but there wasn't. Ah, that sounded good. Somebody dropped fry in here while I was gone, because there's a gajillion. That's a technical term in the fish keeping industry, a gajillion. So they're looking good. Once I'm all healthy, I'll be selling all the adults. Not all the adults, but some of the adults. The gold ram. There he is, big boy, all lonely. Oh, let's talk about temperature for a second. So this tank is at 75.2, and this one's at 76.8. And I had no heat on in the house last night. It was 40 degrees outside, apparently, when I woke up. It was freezing because I had the window open a crack in the bedroom, and my wife kicked me for keeping the window open, but whatever. And down here it stayed pretty warm. The one heater in the sump plus the dehumidifier and the air pump, which is up there behind that piece of wood, kept the room at a decent temperature, and the tank's at a good temperature, so I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, back to the gold ram. He's looking good. Angel's looking good. Nothing new here. They're hungry. Hi, guys. Sort of, kind of, maybe was hoping I would have some eggs, or at least a pair. I could see a pair from these guys. Not sure when or if, but we're gonna start to condition them by feeding them heavily. See what's going on. My duckweed tanks are gone. Cleaned most of the duckweed out as much as I can, and then I let the goldfish clean up this tank. Then I threw them in this tank, and lo and behold, no more duckweed. So we're good there. He's a Redtop Aranda, pretty simple regular goldfish. I think he was $4 at my local fish store. He's a good-looking fish. I'm keeping him, and that's that. We'll leave him in that tank and let him fertilize those plants, and we'll be good. All right, mollies. These are the only 2 mollies I have left. The 2 other ones have left us. Now, when I bought them, I bought 1 male and 3 females. However, somebody told me these 2 are males. It's kind of hard to tell with the light, but we're gonna have to check that out. I'm gonna have to check it out, because if they're 2 males, they're definitely not gonna breed. Empty tank. So sad. Be sad with me for a second. Okay. Marble angels. These are good looking fish. A little based on the size, it looks like I have a male and a female. And there were eggs, so there at least is 1 female in here, but they weren't fertile, and there's been nothing since. So we're gonna get going on keeping these guys, or getting these guys breeding too. Because quite frankly, I like keeping fish, but I like breeding fish more. So if they're not going to breed, I'm going to sell them. But that big guy in the back is nice. All right, we got the endlers here, also very prolific in their breeding. You can see the tiny fry. But you know, the males are black bar endler, some type of black bar in them. The females are just plain Jane ugly fish. But that's me, that's my opinion. We got the big angels here. They were a rescue / donation / somebody just gave them to me, whatever you want to call it. They weren't a rescue because they really weren't in bad shape when I got them, but no breeding out of them either. And their tank, whoa, nice fingers. 7.6. Uh-oh. That's what happens. These cheap thermometers are cheap, but that's the thing, they're cheap. They don't stick. I lost the sticky on the back. Okay, these guys, also good looking fish. They are the parents of the solo survivor, either solo Lamont or Cory. And they have stopped breeding, or they have stopped breeding as well. Again, it could be because they're sick or what have you, but we're gonna really start focusing on that again. We got the platinums, we got the red Wag Cloudies, lots of fish in there. Both adults were alive last night. I was very excited because I fully expected at least one of them to die because they looked sick, but maybe they're better. Maybe they made it through. Okay, what the? That is a good-looking swordtail, if I do say so myself. Neon swordtail from Imperial Tropicals down in Florida. I did see something on Facebook about Matt Hark and Matthew and Imperial Tropicals, but I didn't really I wasn't really able to watch it because I was on vacation, and I really didn't do anything on vacation as far as technology goes. So I don't know. I hope everyone in the path of Matthew is safe. Everyone's fish are okay. Everyone was prepared. You didn't have really any excuse not to be prepared. You knew it was coming for days. You should have been prepared. If you weren't prepared and you're not prepared now, that's another problem. Anyway, that's me on my rant about being prepared. You can see the fry growing up. Empty tank, green Cobra, starting to show some color. Can't wait for these guys to get big and start breeding. Yellow Cobra. Also, there's some fry in there. Really not enough to sell, but hopefully enough to start a breeding colony. Neon swordtail, koi swordtail, and I believe sunset molly. I say that because there's a bunch of, fish with white, orange and white. Those are obviously the kois, but there is a couple solid orange. And I say this every time, I'm pretty sure I threw some fry in there by accident. Some sunset molly, a sunset platy fry. But we'll see if they roast swords. Or if they're females, we'll see if we can tell them apart. But these guys are looking healthy, growing nice. Look at that one runt back there. Aww, poor little guy. More red wags. Hopefully these will be big enough to sell in a little while. A month or two. These are neon swordtail fry, the first batch. They dropped fry the first night they were here. And these are creamsicle molly fry. And this is Big Daddy's tank. Rip Big Daddy. English lace guppies, gorgeous guppy. The one male, as you know, is the only fry that survived, and hopefully he will take care of business. And that's it. These two tanks are empty. So that's 4 empty tanks, which is a lot for me. But I've decided I'm not buying any fish till everybody's healthy because I don't want to make any other fish unhealthy. I do have a friend who bought some guppies or some platies or something and called me and said, hey, I have a lot of little baby fish. I don't know what to do. I said, well, you can keep them, or you can give them away, or you can sell them. So long story short, I'll be picking those up probably this week sometime. And they're gonna go in this quarantine tank right here. See what happens when you don't pay attention? You drain the perfect amount of water. And there is at least one fry that made it into the bucket. I just see one, that's good. So anyway, he's gonna go rewind and play. The fry from my friend are gonna go in this tank in quarantine until they're old enough to be medicated and then go into their own tank. Hopefully by then I won't be on the system. Speaking of the system, I have it pretty much figured out. I'm going to use I think I'm going to use a filter, a water filter that I would use for my RV. That suggestion was made by the one, the only Cory from Aquarium Co-op. And when I did some research, the company said it would remove some chloramines, but they weren't sure how many. So I have to determine how many chloramines are in my water, which will be a project today. Probably not today because I'm going to be super busy at work, but maybe tonight when I get home after my TV conference. Yeah, that's me thinking about work now. Anyway, at some point I have to determine how many chloramines, the amount of chloramines in my water, and what I'm going to need to do to get rid of them. So essentially, I think I'm going to pump water from my sink through a filter, somehow branch into there. I'm not really sure exactly how yet. I don't want to put it on one side. I may put it on one side, but I think that's going to cause uneven pressure. But that might be the easiest thing, so I may try that because it's just PVC. PVC is quite cheap, and I have a lot of it still. So I'm going to use the existing plumbing with the existing valves. I'm going to get a timer, an irrigation timer with an electronic solenoid, and to change approximately 10% of the water every day. That water is going to use the existing drain and overflows and drain into the sump, and I'm going to use a float switch. Hey, I'm going to use a float to turn the pump on and off, which is going to pump the water back into the sink to drain. Obviously when it's warm out, I'll pump it outside, but you know, not for the winter when it's cold. So this pothos plant has sort of taken off back here. That's nice. I haven't checked my nitrates. I don't know in how long, but actually when everybody was sick, I checked them and they were at like 20, so no big deal. I came back and this floor, you can see the stain, the floor was wet. And every now and again it appears that this 55 leaks from the bottom. But it's not a constant leak. It's very strange. I was too tired yesterday to check it out, so put that towel there. But actually the towel was there now that I think about it. And I actually stopped the water going to that tank. All these tanks now are just draining into the sump. To see if that's the problem. If this thing was leaking, I don't want it to drain my system, because I got back and the water was right at the pump level. So any lower we could have had a problem. Alright guys, that's the video for today. Take a look at stuff back here. So if you could vote for the name of that fish, Solo, Lamont, or Cory. Alright guys, have a great day. Talk to you later.